she is getting so big. I tell you what, a lot of people have asked, like, how big is she now? Is she caught up to Pepper? Okie dokie, come on. Whoop. There's a bunch. Have a clutch here hatched out that I want to share with you. It's kind of interesting because when I caught this was actually a...
Oh my God, that came out of nowhere.
That is not what you want to see when you open up a cage with a gravid animal. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is absolutely incredible. Calm down, Salty. Calm down, girl. Calm down. Of course, I got my girl Salty, and she is getting so big. I tell you what, a lot of people have asked, like, how big is she now? Is she caught up to Pepper? The truth is, I think she's getting close. It's been about 3 months since I've weighed her. She was just over 400 grams at the time, so we're going to go ahead and weigh Salt and Pepper. And keep in mind, I haven't fed Salt today, so she's probably going to eat at least 20 or 30 grams worth of food today. So she's on an empty stomach, but she is absolutely getting beautiful. So let's just go ahead and see what kind of weight she is. There you go, Salt. Look at that. She's 766 grams. Oh my God, she has almost doubled her weight. She's coming up on 1,000 grams, people. Salty, you're looking absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and see what Pepper has going on. Oh, and by the way, Mary said that there's actually a litter of Brazilian Rainbow Boas potentially being born, but she said the first ones didn't look so good. So fingers crossed that later in the vlog, we're going to find some baby rainbows, but we'll tackle that in a little bit. And of course, Pepper is getting big too. But again, Salt is really gaining on him. I got to be honest with you. He was 428 grams. Again, it's been a few months, so I'm assuming he's definitely going to be over 766. But let's see how close Salt is now. Okay, Pepper, come on, buddy. And Pepper is 947 grams, 946 grams. So he definitely is bigger, about 150 grams or so bigger. Definitely got some size on him. But Pepper is looking amazing. Salt is definitely gaining, though, because from a percentage standpoint, Salt is getting pretty close to it. But good to see that both Pepper and Salt are doing really well. I just thought I'd get the vlog started with a little update on my beautiful alligators. Quick check-in on baby colubrids for the day. Just a few little babies, and this one here, this is actually a really beautiful snake right here, though. This is actually a hypo-motley corn snake. The hypo and the motley, which is the pattern right here, it actually used to be called motley mutant corn snake, are both recessive mutations, but together they're really beautiful. And then it looks like we just got a little aneurystic corn right here, and then a normal corn right there, so just a small clutch. And what happens is, remember, at the end of the year, as we're getting to that last clutches, a lot of times the clutches are smaller because they're second clutches. Ooh, look at that. A whole big old swatch of Mexican black king snakes right there. Woo, come on, where are you going? Oh my God. You guys know that I always get in trouble every time I open up a box. I think after all these years I would figure out how to do this, but I never do. Whoop, there goes another one. Okie dokie, come on. Whoop. There's a bunch. And we're back. So let's just make sure there's no heads. So again, Mexican Black Kings, you guys know that they're absolutely amazing. Everyone seems to love those guys for sure because they're just absolutely so beautiful. What do we have here? Okay, we just have another few eggs again, which are just albino Nelson's milk snake. This was actually bred to a really beautiful female that had what they call bullseyes, which instead of the bands like these guys have, it actually had circles on it. Woo, it's a feisty little monkey. Ah! What are you doing? They're so funny. Unfortunately, the little circles didn't pass down to these guys, and they are absolutely crazy. My gosh, I tell you, these guys are actually really cool when they get a little bit of size to them. I'm going to set my camera down. Again, as always, make sure there's no heads caught in there and stuff like that. Just a couple more clutches. Ooh, look at that. This is awesome. This is actually a scaleless diffuse corn. Again, I'm going to put it in the water like I always do, just because scaleless corns don't look that neat with all that vermiculite all over them. But look at how incredible that animal is. Again, a scaleless corn and then a diffuse corn. So it's going to be really beautiful. There's 2 eggs in here. There's still one little baby in the egg right there. So it doesn't look like that's a scaleless animal. So that should be out here in the next day or two, something on that. And then lastly, we have these guys here. What do we have here? Oh my gosh, there's a couple really gorgeous scaleless animals over here. Of course, this little monkey is trying to get away too. We'll just get this in the water a little bit. Get this little snake back in the tub, hopefully. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep the two scaleless corns out because I really want to take a look and see what these guys are really quick. It looks like this is just a really beautiful scaleless, and this one definitely looks like a crimson scaleless corn snake right here. So that's really cool too. Crimsons are just basically a Miami phase hypo corn snake, and then of course a scaleless, so really beautiful. So not too many more clutches to hatch. I mean, we've got a couple more weeks left, and then we're gonna be done for their hatching baby snakes. So I hope you enjoyed this update. I have a clutch here hatched out that I want to share with you. It's kind of interesting because when I cut this was actually a lesser bred to a pastel crystal. Now the pastel crystal is allelic when it comes to a special bred to a Mojave. Remember, when lesser and Mojave are bred together, they produce blue-eyed leucistic. But if a special and a lesser goes together, they're like blue-eyed leucistic, but they have a little pattern. I remember cutting this clutch and thinking that I had 3 or 4 blue-eyed leucistics in the clutch. Well, guess what? This is the Mojave and the lesser, and it is the blue-eyed leucistic that is definitely pure white with blue eyes. So this is the animal that I thought all of them were. Now there's a very, very fine difference between this one and all of the rest of them in this clutch right here. That's right, there's 4 of these. So there were 5 white snakes out of 6 eggs. And the fact is they all look like blue-eyed leucistics in the eggs, but if you can tell here very faintly, you can see just a little bit of patterning in this. Now that patterning is actually what comes from the special and lesser, not the Mojave and lesser. And you can pick up each one of them, and again, it's very, very faint, but you can see a little bit of pattern just kind of creeping through. So really 4 of the 5 white ones were actually special lessers, not Mojave lessers. So they are still a blue-eyed leucistic in a way, but a completely different blue-eyed leucistic than the Mojave and the lesser. Regardless, very awesome. And then we produced just one little special ball python that is absolutely incredible. This is one of the prettiest specials that I've ever produced, to be honest with you. Again, the special ball python is really allelic to Mojave to produce crystals, and they're just a little different. I mean, they look like a really pretty normal ball python. A guy named Tom Baker out in California was the first one to bring in an import. He bred it out, and surprisingly, he produced the crystal ball python, and the rest is history.
I touched it. Wow! Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. Whoa! Oh.
Okay, can I forfeit?
No, dude.
I trust you.
You gotta hold it for at least 10 seconds. You made me hold a black-headed python for 10 seconds, dude.
Fine, don't bite me, don't bite me, don't bite me.
Alright, I have a quick question, guys.
Yeah.
What the heck's going on over here? Why do you have a blindfold on and an alligator in your hand?
You know, we're just doing a little
We're
game.
working. This is, it's like for conservation, studying.
Yeah.
Smart.
We're just, you know, shout out wildlife.
Shout out wildlife.
Hashtag wildlife.
We're making a little challenge, you know, blindfolded search and handle.
Oh, cool,
Okay.
very cool.
I'm literally shaking right now.
Basically,
that was scary.
You put a blindfold on, you spin around the reptarium, and you walk aimlessly through the reptarium, and whatever cage you stop in front of, you gotta handle it blindfolded.
When's this coming out?
Coming out on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday the 4th. So if you're not already subscribed to Bad Choice. No, we're on that 200K grind. Okay.
All right.
Let's
cool,
get
cool.
it.
Yo, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Hold on, what's a gang sign for BCN? Not gang affiliated. Alligator.
I love the results of this clutch right here. This is actually a Cinna winner bred to a pewter banana. This would be the Cinna winner here, which is a cinnamon, a pinstripe, and a Woma ball python. So the mom looked just like this one, and the dad was a pewter banana. So regardless, lots of cinnamon stuff, lots of banana stuff, and absolutely incredible. These 2 little monkeys right here are just Cinny bananas. And I love the way that is. You guys know that I always talk about cinnamon and black pastel. I love it when they're mixed with banana because whew, they are just absolutely gorgeous animals. But then you start mixing them into all other stuff, and wow, it's crazy. This just happens to be a banana Cinny Woma. So it's just like this animal here, which is a Cinny Woma. This is addition of the banana, and you can see how different those 2 look as soon as you add the banana gene. Again, that banana gene does so many amazing things when it comes to that. Then this is actually a banana Cinna winner, just like the mom, but with the banana and possibly a pastel, not 100% sure. And then weirdly enough, I have this one that is the same exact genetics. Maybe this one's a pastel and this one isn't, I'm not sure. But look at how clean this one is compared to this one. Absolutely stunning. I mean, I tell you what, those are unbelievable rippers for sure. And then we've got this little guy here, which is actually a pastel. It's a cinnamon, it's a pinstripe, and it's a Woma ball python. So it's got all the genes minus the banana gene, and that thing is so cool, just that silver snake. I tell you what, when this clutch was hatching, I was like, whoo, that is absolutely incredible. And now that they're all out of the egg, I am impressed. They are absolute rippers.
Alligator.
All right, we got another tour in the house. How are you guys doing? It's so good to meet you guys. And you guys are also from Canada?
Yeah.
But which part?
Ontario.
Ontario. Well, thank you so much for coming. I think we're going to have a great time, all right? Okay, let's go. Is there one thing that you really want to see? All right, we're going to see everything. Let's go. Let's do it.
Alligator.
Open for some babies, and that is not what you want to see when you open up a cage with a gravid animal. These guys are obviously live bears. This is a Brazilian rainbow. Here you go, mama. Oh my God, you did good, sweetheart. It wasn't her fault that she had infertile babies. This is what an infertile ova looks like. These are supposed to be live babies right here. So much like an egg, the way it kind of works is they develop in their body, almost like in a little egg sac type of thing. And then of course she has live birth, but unfortunately, not even one good baby. I mean, just so disappointing. This is part of breeding animals and certainly reptiles, is that sometimes you work all year, literally 12 months. You're putting weight on the animal, you're conditioning, you're doing all this stuff, and you breed them and everything is going great. You cycle, you do all your work, the males are breeding, everything happens, and then guess what? This happens on occasion. And it is a heartbreaker. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, oh, it's okay, it's all right. I'm bummed out. We have a bunch of other females, but this isn't the way you want to start the year. This is the first rainbow litter of the year, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and kind of a half. 19 and a half what would have been babies. Oh my gosh. Well, let's hope that these other girls go better. Again, I try not to let myself get up or down. When we have a great litter, I try not to get overexcited. When we have a terrible litter, I try not to get myself too down on it. It's just the way it goes. You know, in the end, it all works out, but that is not the way you want to start, because that tells me that that male was infertile for this particular female, and he was the same one that bred the other female. So fingers crossed, we'll get some babies this year, but that is definitely not the way we go. So anyways, let's move on to happier things.
Alligator.
You guys know I love producing white snakes. I mean, just white snakes. I don't know what it is, whether it's a colubrid or a ball python or a Burmese or a retic. I just think they're amazing. This actually was a yellow belly bred to a pastel ivory. Weirdly enough, it looks like we've got a few little yellow bellies that are absolutely beautiful, but the weird thing in this entire collection doesn't look like the pastel yellow belly pass any pastel genes to anything. So these are two just beautiful yellow bellies, and again, when you breed these two together, 1 in 4 on average would be the super version, which is going to be the ivory ball python. And I think I've told you guys a story before that really the ivory ball pythons were the first white snake that were ever brought into the country out of Africa, and it sold for like $125,000, believe it or not. And then a few years later, remember we were at the Sutherlands in Utah, TSK, they actually produced these by breeding yellow belly to yellow belly, and they're absolutely incredible. These three here are just ivories. Again, doesn't look like any of them are pastel ivories. When I cut the clutch, I wasn't 100% sure. It looked like a couple might possibly be, but you can tell they have a lot of pattern, a lot of gray on their head. The pastels will typically have very little gray on the head, and all of these actually have the gray on the head, so they look like just ivories. But you can see a little bit of purple and yellow patterning. As these get older, they pretty much just turn pure white. And even after all these years of people producing them, and now they become pretty affordable for a pet, you can have a white snake pet. Probably the cheapest of the white snake pets, to be honest with you. I still think they're absolutely fantastic.
Alligator.
It's always a bummer when a clutch or a litter or something like that doesn't work out, but that's just kind of part of it. There's ups and downs, and hey, listen, we have some other females. Hopefully we'll get some good babies. Regardless, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, here's another video I hope that you'll like, and an entire playlist of stuff that I hope you like. Subscribe over here, turn those post notifications on, be kind to somebody, and I promise I'll see you guys tomorrow.